Hello YouTube, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to take a look at a 125-gallon aquarium that Chelsea has set up with some of the coolest fish I guarantee you've probably never seen unless you saw them on this channel previously. So sit back, relax, and let's take a look at this 125. It's pretty dang cool. So tell us about your new 125. What do you got going on in here?
There's a lot of really good stuff in this tank. So I think the most obvious fish that you can see are probably the Satanoperca leucosticta, and we have 8 of these guys in here. They are already beautiful. So it was a little bit of a gamble when I saw them at the wet spot. They were a little shy, and they were in a bare bottom tank. And as earth eaters, they just don't love being in bare bottom. So as soon as we put them in the tank, they calmed right down, and they have not stopped sifting sand since. And the cool thing about these guys is, like a lot of geos, like a lot of earth eaters, they take a long time to get to the full color potential. But these guys, as they get bigger, their base is going to darken up to like a reddish brown, and they get these really pretty white iridescent spots all over them. So the spots that you see when they get older will be on a dark base, and they're really stunning fish. They're really peaceful for larger fish too. They get about 8-9 inches, but they like to stay in like gregarious groups, and there's never that much aggression or anything between them, so they're a really, really fun fish. I also have the Crenocycla notophthalmus in here. There are 6 of those guys. We have 3 males and 3 females, and as far as I can tell, there may be a pair or 2 starting to form, but there's one female. I'm sure you'll see her at some point. She's usually in the middle, but she's definitely in charge of the entire tank. She's pretty much on fire all the time. So also speeding around in here are the redmouth headstanders. Those guys are really difficult to get on camera because they just never stop moving, and they chase each other around pretty much all day long. So what else do we have in here?
How have you not mentioned these guys yet?
I know, because they're all down there and I'm down here. So we have 3 spotted Congo puffers in here from Mountaintop Puffer Keeper. Really excited about these guys. Spawned by, yes, that's the most impressive part. These are tank-raised spotted Congo puffers, so to me they are extra special. They are absolutely amazing. They came in looking phenomenal. They were already super healthy, so not like we really had to do anything, but they've been eating wonderfully for us. You can see the snail graveyard that is right down there. They have taken care of all those snails in just a few days. So I thought, it could go either way putting them in this tank, but I figured they'd stand up just fine to everything. And so far, there's been no aggression. Nobody picks on each other. You'd think that there'd be some weirdness going on with the stocking, but honestly, it's a very peaceful, calm tank. We have some random tetra in here, too. I think there's 1 Hyphesibrycon nigadagua and then a couple glass bloodfin tetra that are left over. Definitely need to get some more schooling fish in here. That's what I'm working on now.
Now that I'm looking at this, I notice something missing.
Yeah, I know what's missing.
What's missing?
There's no Corydoras in here.
Bloodfin tetras.
Yeah, there they are.
Glass bloodfin tetras. But yeah, Corydoras. Have you not decided on a species yet?
I have not been given the green light on anything. I think I loosely mentioned a couple that I would...
I gave the green light on the Amanda Janiis, so...
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. Well, I didn't decide that that's what I wanted. So once I decide what I want in here, I might do a little more research and see what Corydoras live amongst these guys. Because the nice thing about this tank right now is that most of these fish come from pretty much the same area, like the Rio Orinoco. That's pretty much where most of them come from. So it's not a biotope. Again, it is not a strict biotope, but there's definitely some geographically specific fish in here that I've tried to place on purpose because, as you can see, they do really well together. Also, I shouldn't leave her out. Coco's in here. So the Ivanacara adaqueta, the zebra acara, she is also in here, but she very rarely makes appearances. She'll usually just kind of creepily sift her way through the background, like through the sand and everything. So that's what she does.
Now we've got some massive jungle val in here.
That is via candy. Thank you very much. There's about 18 feet of jungle val.
Yeah, for real.
And it wraps around many times. I think there legitimately is about 10 feet. I think it's probably about 10 feet long. It's crazy.
And then there's Java for narrowleaf. I think this is dwarf chainsword. No, this is dwarf sage.
That's dwarf sage.
Yeah.
And then
because it's not dwarf. That's how we know it's not.
And there's Cypress Hellfry.
And pogos.
And pogo.
Octopus. I want to talk more about these headstanders because
let's do that.
Not a lot of people know about them and even less keep them. And they're such a cool peaceful little fish. I would also like to point out real quick that there is autos scattered around in here.
Where is my guy? I was going to say, where's the big one? When you see a big auto, that's the one I've had for like 4 years, who we had to get the rest of the autos for. So that's the superstar.
And then the sponge is just what we use to seed the tank with beneficial bacteria. And then we run hang-on back filters for that. But yeah, let's talk about these headstanders. And
So,
what do you got for us?
These guys are really, really cool. You know, honestly, there's not. I was just looking before this to see if I had maybe missed something, because I've done some research since we've had them, because I honestly did not know a whole lot about headstanders. What I had thought about headstanders, and I hate when I do this, I just thought they were aggressive, and not super aggressive, but too aggressive for me to want to deal with. And most of them get very large. So most headstanders are in the like 10-inch range, and these guys will only get about 4.5 inches, and they're actually known as the peaceful headstander. So by headstander standards, they're actually really chill. They will fight amongst each other. I don't see them ever pick on other fish, but they will fight amongst each other unless you keep a good group of them, and we have 7. So I'd say 6 or 7 is bare minimum, because I don't see any aggression. They definitely kind of pick at each other every now and then, but nothing too crazy. They're very quick. They come from quick moving water. They are like right on the edge of quick moving water, so they like to play in the stream a lot and kind of just go back and forth, but they never stop. I try and get them on film all the time, and they're constantly moving, but they're so entertaining. When I put bug bites in, they will pick the bug bites up and swim around with them for a solid 2 minutes while they eat the entire granule. They're just, I mean, they're constantly clowning around, and they're really, really enjoyable fish. And I'd say if you have like a 75-gallon tank to a 125 like this, you would be just fine to get yourself a group of like 6 to 10 of these guys. You could do even just headstanders with some other random schooling fish, and I think it would be a really cool tank.
I think this tank needs some rainbow fish.
There's
like
definitely
smaller species,
yeah,
like kamaka, something like that.
It needs some other stuff for sure.
Maybe some hatchets.
This is not the end. Yeah, hatchets would look really cool in here. Actually, I was thinking about that, because we have nothing going on up top. And the schooling fish, there's just so many options that it's going to take me a while to decide on that. I already know.
I'd also, to interrupt you, would like to point out that they are headstanders, but I never see them headstand. Like normally headstanders, they're down like this,
that's
right?
True.
At an angle. But I don't really see that here.
They don't do that quite as much. What I noticed they do when they don't have food, or when they're really hungry, when they don't have food that I've given them, they will go to all the plants, like specifically the Helpheri, and they will do the headstanding, and they will pick all of the algae off of the strands. It's pretty entertaining.
Yeah, they're actually very good algae
There's
eaters.
one doing it right now. So he's picking all the little algae off the strands.
Yeah, and if you look at this log, this was covered with algae at one point. And
they're
now there's
great
none.
I wouldn't say they're specifically, they're going to wipe out your algae problem, but for small amounts, they do a really good job of eradicating that. So, very fun fish. I am a big headstander fan.
Yeah, this is just a really fun tank to just sit and watch. These geos are just the most active geos that I've ever seen. I've never owned them, but I've owned quite a few different species, and they're all over the place. They're psycho.
So I made the mistake that a lot of people make, and I will admit this, and I knew it after I did it, but she worked in the tank she was in. I had one Jurapari, and luckily she was very chill, and she never seemed upset to be alone. However, keeping 8 of these guys, I can absolutely see how much they enjoy interacting. And yeah, you'll see them kind of scuffle and like pick at each other, but they never hurt each other, and honestly, I think they're just still at the point where they're deciding the hierarchy and who's in charge.
The lighting is the Aquarium co-op lighting. There's only 2 36-inch lights on this tank, which is usually all you need. But the fish look fantastic. The plants are doing great. Love that light. Can't say enough good things about it. It's bulletproof. I'm going to say it. It's bulletproof.
They really, they're great lights. Everything looks great. Everything's doing really well, like you said. And the fish look amazing. And look... Again, look at the geos. Look at the Steenfott. Look at they're 1.5 inches, or maybe 2 inches, and they already have that much color. I always hear people complain about geos, and just the iridescence on these guys is so stunning at this age. I can't wait for them to grow out. They're going to be
the same thing I hear with rainbows. Like, oh, they're just a silver fish.
Yeah, no, just have like 5 minutes of patience, guys.
Just gotta wait.
Yeah.
All right, well, I'm super excited to see this grow in. If you want to keep seeing updates on this tank, be sure to subscribe. Leave a comment down below on what you think we should use for schooling fish. I'm sure it's going to end up being tetras of some kind. I won't get my wish of rainbows, but eventually I'll get some rainbows somewhere in this fish room.
It may or may not happen. We'll see.
Well, thanks for tuning in, and we will see you on the next one.